In this episode, I go over my top 5 picks for new comic book day coming out next week, May 18th, 2022. What's going on, everybody? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I am going over my top 5 picks for new comic book day coming out next week, May 18th, 2022. So if you're here for that, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. And as always, it is another great week for comic books, and so great, in fact, that I not only do I have my top 5 picks and my cover by of the week, which I'll go over at the end, but I have a good amount of honorable mentions because I just couldn't fit them all into the top 5, right? But I didn't want to leave them out, so I'm going to run through some of these real quick. But before I do that, again, just want to shout out the premiere chat. As always, thanks for hanging out with me here today. As you know, these videos premiere every Thursday, 12:30 Eastern. If you're not in the premiere chat, but you're just watching this on your own time, thank you so much as well for just taking some time to watch these top 5 videos. But yeah, let's get into the honorable mentions, because there were a ton of great books that I was just looking through, and I'm like, oh, that's a book I want to read. That's a book I want to read. That's a book I've been enjoying. You know, so many different things. And I want to at least throw them out there as something that people should be aware of, in case, you know, you're just getting into comics or you're back and you want to see what's new and what's coming out here. So the first one I wanted to mention was Wolverine patch issue number 2. Issue 1 I thought was pretty good. I wasn't like blown away by it, but I was definitely curious to kind of see where it goes from here. And it is Wolverine. He's one of my guys. You know, I gotta check that out and continue reading on. I know it doesn't necessarily tie into the Hickman world that Hickman had built recently, but it's still something I want to give a shot to. I know Larry Hama doing the writing, and yeah, so I'm gonna at least give issue 2 a shot, see where it goes from here. But I wanted to throw that on in the honorable mentions. Another one I wanted to bring up here is Savage Avengers issue number 1. I know a lot of people liked the last series of Savage Avengers, and I'm always interested to kind of see like the new teams or the characters, I should say, that kind of get mixed together and team up in some of these newer series that they put out here. So I want to at least give this a shot. Oh, the other thing I should mention, David Peppo's doing the writing. Love what he's been doing in kind of the indie world, and I want to see where he takes this particular Marvel series. So wanted to mention Savage Avengers. That's kicking off. Another one I want to throw in there real quick is Reign issue number 5. I know I was really hyped for this series when it first came out. I loved issue 1. I feel like the rest of it has kind of been a roller coaster since then. It's been good. It hasn't been great. It hasn't been back to that issue 1 level yet, but I'm definitely curious to see where it goes, how this ends. You know, so I want to close out. Hopefully this closes out strong, especially, you know, David and Boo are doing the writing for this. Want to support my guy. David's a great friend of the channel. He's been on the channel before. So yeah, definitely looking forward to kind of seeing where this goes from here. And of course, Zoe Thorogood, she's doing the artwork for this, which I am a fan of as well. So wanted to throw that in as honorable mention. Wanted to throw in A Town Called Terror issue number 2. I actually really enjoyed issue number 1. I love the artwork. I loved the horror vibes that you get from it, and I just want to see where it goes from here. So I'm gonna leave it at that, but definitely wanted to throw that in as an honorable mention as well. And that's an Image comic book. Another one from Image is Bolero issue number 5 that's now coming out. I'll admit I'm a little behind on the Bolero stuff, but I did really enjoy issue number 1, and so that's something I think at this point I'll probably wait for trade. But in case you were, you know, looking forward, if you're wondering if it was coming out soon, Bolero issue number 5, that is this week coming up. So yeah, definitely have it on your radar if you haven't already, or if you haven't read it yet, go back and read issue 1, because yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to dive into it fully, you know, as like a trade read. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that one as well. I got 2 more here, 2 more for my honorable mentions. Wanted to also mention Hit Me issue number 3. Almost had this as a cover by of the week, not quite there, but I do love the Vegas style and the dice and the cards and everything. Also, it's Decal, so you know, anything Jeff Decal does is just fantastic. I'll probably end up buying it anyways. The series has been really good as well, though. I really like kind of the way things are going. Krista Foss doing the writing, and Priscilla Petrates doing the interior, which she's the reason why I even wanted to give this book a shot to begin with, because I just love her artwork. So had to put that on the honorable mentions list. Hit Me issue number 3. And then the last one I'll mention before I get into my top 5 picks is Shadow Warzone issue number 1. And if you have been following along with some of the stuff that Williamson has been doing, you know, it's all part of the Shadow Wars that's been going on between the Batman series. What else was there? Death Shadow, or I'm sorry, Deathstroke issue, all the different Deathstroke issues, and Robin as well, which has been one of my favorite series. So that's, you know, tying together. I don't know exactly how this is going to end, what Joshua Williamson's going to do, because I know eventually the main Batman series is being taken over, I think by Chip. So when that happens, I don't know if he's going to keep going with this, or this event is just going to end. I assume the event's going to end before it gets into that stuff. But either way, I want to see where it goes from here. And the artwork has been fantastic as well, including this cover that we're looking at here. This is John Boy Meyer. Meyer's doing the cover here. Really enjoying his work as well. But yeah, so that's Shadow Warzone. Had to at least throw that on the honorable mentions as well. But let's get into my top 5. And kicking it off at number 5, I'm going to go with Batman and Superman, World's Finest, issue number 3. This has been a really, really great read. It's written by Mark Waid. The artwork, I think, is a big part too. That's just completely pulled me in. Dan Mora, who's also doing the covers here. You know, tempted to just buy all cover A's of this as it continues to come out. I don't know if this is an ongoing necessarily, or if they're going to break this up, or what they're going to do. But last issue was really enjoyable. We get a couple of extra characters that kind of tie in, not just focused around Batman and Superman per se. And so that was a big tie into that as well. I won't get into a lot of the details, but yeah, it's been very enjoyable so far, and obviously still very early. But you know, this is me kind of reaching out a bit more and trying to explore a bit more, you know, the main stuff of Batman and Superman, which I haven't up until this past couple of months. So just trying to explore the new stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. The writing's been fantastic. The artwork for a lot of this has been great. So yeah, I mean, DC, I mean, if you've seen my list before, you know, I usually have a good amount of DC on here. And I think actually looking ahead, I think there are a total of 3 DC books on my top 5 here. So, you know, last week was a lot of indies. Last week I had a lot more indies. This week, a bit more DC and Marvel focused. So, but that's gonna be my number 5 pick of the week. Batman and Superman, World's Finest, issue number 3. Going into my number 4 pick of the week is another Batman book. It's Batman the Knight, issue number 5. And I have been loving this series. One of the main reasons I even wanted to give it a shot was because Chip Zdarsky's been doing the writing for it. And he's just been killing it. He's been absolutely killing it. This is technically kind of an origin story retold of Batman. And I know some people, you know, might be really sick and tired of origin stories of Batman. But I guess maybe for someone like myself who hasn't read a lot of Batman, it's all new to me. So, you know, I'm down with it. And the fact that Chip is writing it, and I love his style of writing, especially with what he's done recently with like Daredevil, you know, it was an easy decision for me to just go all in with this. So, I've been really enjoying it. That's why I wanted to put up, on my number 4. And also I should mention Carmine Di Giando Manico, doing the artwork. I knew I was going to butcher that. I apologize, Carmine, if you're watching this. But he does the interior art. He also does the cover art here, and that too has been beautiful work. And so yeah, that's another reason to check this series out if you haven't already. I think there are 10 altogether. They're doing a series of 10 before Chip jumps over to Batman and continues onward with other things he's doing, which I'm excited for as well. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm going to stick to this, see where this goes. And like I said, just getting a little bit of a different view of an origin of Batman, and I'm down for that. So that's my number 4 pick of the week, Batman the Knight, issue number 5. Let's see, going into my number 3 pick of the week, I'm going to go with XMen Red, issue number 2, jumping over to Marvel here. Man, it's like this, you know, Hickman stepped out, right, after Inferno. The new X-Men series has kind of kicked in. Some of the X titles have launched. And where they just did the X Lives and X Deaths of Wolverine with Benjamin Percy, all that stuff, you know, leading up to all the Hickman stuff, and then after Hickman, it's all been, to me, really enjoyable. I've been loving it. So I'm, you know, granted, I'm obviously so pumped for this because I was talking about issue 1 last time when it came out. And it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. I was all over issue number 1. I really enjoyed it. Loved how it ended. If you haven't read it, go back and check it out. You know, a big focus on Storm, that's for sure. So really excited for that as well. And yeah, Al Ewing, I should mention, he's doing the writing for it, so pretty confident in Al's work. I've liked his stuff from before, you know, like the Immortal Hulk and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to more there. And the artist, of course, Stefano Caselli, also doing a fantastic job. And, you know, looking at this cover here, the cover art by Matt Wilson. So really cool stuff there. So yeah, I had to put it on the list, and pretty up high there. So I don't know if you're following the X titles, then, you know, definitely jump into this. If you're behind, I would definitely take some time to do some reading up through some of the Hickman stuff before you necessarily just jump into XMen Red. But yeah, I'm really pumped to kind of see where this goes, and some of the characters that they had brought in now, you know, that we've seen. So anyways, I'll leave it at that. That's going to be my number 3 pick of the week, XMen Red issue number 2. All right, jumping back to DC here real quick, and normally this would be my number 1 pick, but I'm actually shifting it to my number 2. I know, shocker, right? You would think that this next book I'm talking about normally would be my number 1, but I am, of course, talking about Nightwing, right? Nightwing by Tom Taylor is usually my number 1 pick. I'm trying to change it up, trying to trick you guys a little bit, and not be so damn predictable, right? But yeah, I mean, it's my favorite series, right? It's just my number 1 favorite series. I absolutely love it. I love what Tom Taylor's doing with it. Bruno Redondo doing the artwork for it. Just absolutely stunning and emotional. It's been an emotional roller coaster, and seeing Dick Grayson kind of grow into this new position that he's kind of taken ever since issue 78. And again, you know, the inheritance that he gets and everything else, wanting to help the world, change the world in a way that he can do it, not just by his abilities, but also what else he can do in the world, you know, with his money and everything else. So really excited to see where this goes. We've gotten a ton of guest appearances throughout this. We're also getting a lot of the love story between him and Barbara Gordon, which I love the two of them. I want more of the two of them. Yeah, just love it all. I love it all. So that is going to be easily my number 2 of the week. It could easily be number 1, honestly. I know anybody that is in the chat right now may be thinking like, what the heck, Justin? Normally Nightwing is number 1 always. And yeah, normally it is. But there is one other book that I'm just a little bit extra excited for, that I'll talk about here in just a second. So, but that's why Nightwing's going to be my number 2 pick of the week overall this week. Nightwing issue 92. Let's see, before I get into my number 1 pick though, I just want to remind everybody, take a moment, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, always appreciate that as well. Again, I'm not going to have a question of the week this week, only because next week is absolutely crazy for me. I have a lot of different shows and other things I kind of booked up, so didn't want to add too much extra into my week going into next week. But I always appreciate everybody who leaves comments. Let me know, you know, what you're reading coming up this week. If you agree with this list, if you think I missed something, always would like to know, and hear your thoughts, hear your recommendations, as always. So I'll get back into the swing of things with some of the questions in the near future, but just kind of taking this week off in terms of the questions. But anyways, let's get into my number 1 pick here. I'm very excited for, gotta drop it. It's going to be Immortal XMen issue number 2. And man, Immortal XMen issue number 1 was everything and more that I wanted. It was so great, so clever. The humor was fantastic. The, you know, a very mixture of like, political, viewpoints that they're dealing with just within the Quiet Council, trying to make certain decisions, at the Quiet Council right now. And, yeah, it's just been really good. So, this is, written by, Kieran Gillen, who's been, he's just been fantastic in a lot of the work that he's done. The artist here, Lucas Wernick, who also did issue 1 there, really enjoyed that. Let's see, the cover that we're looking at here is Mark Brooks, and I should just know that just from looking at it, right? It definitely is clearly a Mark Brooks cover. Yeah, just really excited again. Like I said, I was sad that Hickman left, you know, and wanted to see more of what he had in mind. But I do think that the writers and the creators that are, you know, kind of stepped up into that place, they're doing a tremendous job in picking up where he left off and continuing that. And a lot of stuff going on with like Moira and everything else. Like, you know, if you're into that, if you like that stuff that Hickman did, like definitely continue on with Immortal XMen, because yeah, it's some really, really good stuff. So that is why it's my number 1 pick of the week, Immortal XMen issue #2. Cannot wait to check this out. And yeah. And don't go away yet. I do want to give my my cover buy of the week. Let me pull that up real quick. Of course, I mean, in this sense, maybe a little predictable, as I feel like every third week or so, it's a Jenny Frison cover. But yeah, I'm going with the Jenny Frison cover once again. This is Catwoman, issue number 43. I think I've been buying just a ton of Catwoman recently because of all of her fantastic covers of Frison that she's been doing. And yeah, I just love it. I absolutely love it. And this, I like this style because it kind of looks like a negative space variant. You know, the way the shoulder straps fade right into the background, I think is really cool. You know, you got the cat here. Yeah, just everything about it. Absolutely stunning cover. Jenny Frison, she has my heart. I love this stuff that she does. So yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that she's going to be at C2E2 this year, because I will be there, and I'm hoping that she's there, and I'd love to be able to meet her, get an autograph, talk to her for a moment. But yeah, so that is my cover pick of the week, or my cover buy of the week. And, you know, let me know in the comment section below, what is your cover buy of the week? Do you have one? Is there a book or two that you're just like, yep, gotta have it, regardless if I'm reading it or not, I'm gonna pick it up. Would love to know your answer to that. But otherwise, that's about it. Again, these are my top 5 picks coming out next week for New Comic Book Day, May 18th, 2022. So leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you smash that like button on the way out. And until next time, I will talk to you later.